This is episode 38 of the Fire Protection Podcast, powered by InspectPoint. Today is an episode on a live from trade show I did at the Fire Suppression Systems Association last week in Bonita Springs, Florida. The FSSA held their 40th annual, forum down in Florida. Had a great crew there. Over 200 people, I believe, were there. And this association, the FSSA, is near and dear to my heart because it kind of encompasses all the realms of fire protection, from the alarm and detection side, or the sprinkler side, the suppression side, even on the extinguisher side. So a lot of the companies there, service providers, even in the manufacturer realm, kind of handle all avenues of fire protection. Great group of people, very bright on a lot of different NFPA committees. So what our idea at the Fire Protection Podcast and InspectPoint were to gather up some of the committee leads and some past presidents and the current president, get their inputs of where the FSSA went and where it is now, and what value they get out of it. It's a highly technical association. If you're getting into the clean agent realm, special hazards realm, foam protection, as well as other specialty detection. So check out a couple of the interviews I did and let me know what you think. I wanted to give a big shout out to a few people on this podcast. Lee Kaiser, who's head of the technical committee for FSSA, as well as many other things within fire protection. Jarrett Ryan, who's the incoming president for FSSA. He's with Protegis. And Todd Stevens, who's with Industrial Fire Protection. He's the one of the past presidents. All three interviews were great with what the FSSA provides and what the value they've gotten out of that over the years. Becca Stinner from the FSSA has also been a big part, being the executive director and letting us do this live podcast. So appreciate all the help and looking forward to your feedback. Enjoy. Hello, everybody. Drew Slocum here with the Fire Protection Podcast, here with Lee Kaiser of Orr Protection. Here at FSSA this year, 40th anniversary. We're going to be splicing a bunch of interviews I do from some of the committee members together. So welcome, Lee. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for having me. We're glad you're here. Yeah, the Fire Protection Podcast here at FSSA. I think that's a first, isn't it?
It is the first, yeah. Yeah, we did one at NAFED last year. I kind of tried it out and seemed to go over well. So,
well, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we're really glad you're here. It's a chance. We're happy to support your podcast and what you're doing for the industry, but also, it's nice to get the FSSA some exposure.
And you've been on the podcast before, in a different setting.
I have been, yes. You invited me on for a margarita-fueled discussion about sprinkler system corrosion.
Yeah. I was hoping it was going to get a little heated, but the funny part is everybody came together at the end and kind of agreed, right?
Yeah, it's a problem.
Right.
Still is.
It's still a problem. Nothing was solved from that. I wanted to get the compressor guys, the air compressor guys, to fight with the nitrogen guys, but it's all right.
I think they were way too well behaved.
I know, right?
So, yeah,
I tried, but so what? FSSA. How long have you been involved? What is your experience over the years?
I came into working for my employer, Orr Protection, in 2011, and I started immediately coming, because of my role at Orr at the time, started immediately coming to these meetings and specifically the technical committee meetings.
Right.
And my company's been involved in it. We're sort of like inaugural members.
Yeah.
Of FSSA back in the 80s. So back 82 when it started, right?
Yeah.
So we've had a few people hold the president's slot.
Oh, wow.
And we maintain a platinum membership, which means you pay more money.
Yeah.
And we're sponsors and those types of things. So, and then I think probably more than anything besides our dollars, we support it with our time.
Yep.
So my time is some among that. We've got people that I've been involved in the technical committee.
Sure.
We've got people involved in the membership committee, people involved in the marketing committee,
Yep.
And people that have, early on, in 2012, when we were writing our current training program
Sure.
for the industry.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I've written, me and several others wrote classes for that.
Right.
And so our content is there. It lives on. It's been modified and updated since then, but we wrote some of the original classes along with a lot of other people.
Yeah, I'm like, people ask us all the time, like, where can we find training for specialty suppression? And you're like pretty much the FSSA. It's like the only group that's the best one, but there's not many others, right?
No, there's not a lot of others. There's really no trade schools that focus specifically on that, because it's a blend of disciplines, right?
Yeah.
It's, you kind of got to be a fire alarm guy.
Yep.
You kind of got to be some parts about the sprinkler discipline.
Oh yeah.
Sprinkler discipline with the piping and all.
Yeah.
And then you got to know the hardware itself and what the agent does. So it's definitely a specialty, but it draws from other skill sets that we have in the overall fire protection industry.
Yeah.
So
and I know just a mix of people. This is our second event being here. We've been members, I think, for 3 years, but just the echelon of service providers, just contractors and manufacturers here is, I feel, I'm going to be a little biased, but it feels like you're speaking to some really brilliant people at FSSA. You get a lot of collaboration between different companies, and I think it's, what I've seen over the last 3 years, it's been awesome. So,
special hazards is unique. You kind of got to want to do it, because the thing I say in my company all the time, just thinking about density. It's not a dense industry as far as systems. There's not several special hazard systems on every block.
Right.
There may be a handful of them in a city.
Yep.
And so if your technicians are on the road a little bit more, traveling site salespeople, put a lot of miles on their car, going to, see customers, see opportunities. It's just, they can't just go and take over one block at a time. They've got to travel. You've got to like it. And then people seek us out because, they may not have, a company that they
locally,
well, they just either don't know about it, or they don't know of a company they can trust right in their area. They have to reach out to find specialists and special hazards.
And I tell a lot of provider people that are on our platform, they're, want to get into clean agent. I'm like, well, just don't take one job. Like, work with another provider, or start getting, get some of the training credentials through the FSSA, and don't just jump into a job, learn about it,
Yeah. I worry that there's that situation is starting to arise more and more, where, hey, we think we can pick this up too.
Right.
A lot of the secret to our success is being really good at detection and control.
Yeah.
Along with the special hazards piece of it, because I think that is the more artful piece of what we do in special hazards, making ensuring that the system goes off appropriately at the right time, in the right timeline of the fire. Like, sometimes we set up detection so that we've got a big fire before we put it out.
Oh, right.
Sometimes we know that the condition, the environment won't, the environment of the hazard won't tolerate that, and we need to have more sensitive detection that keeps the fire small before we discharge it, so there's minimal damage from the fire. Well, that's a little bit of an art, and it's not prescriptive. It's very performance based in our methodology.
Yep.
And so that we focus on that. And if you're just no offense to any sprinkler companies that do it, but if you're just a straight up sprinkler company, you're going to try to sling some pipe and put some cylinders in every once in a while. Yeah. There's more to it than that. And the manufacturers know it. Like, they've got their distributors or integrators that are good at this, and they don't get questions. And then they've got the ones that are just getting into it, and they're asking, well, what do we do for detection? What kind of panel do we buy?
Right.
And that's not the same level of performance. They know it.
Sure.
And being from that other side, we take a lot of pride in knowing that piece of it. And the only thing that we really have to spend time traveling or figuring out is what's the right product, what's the right suppression agent, and different attributes about those things, and then what detection methodology
that you're going to use. Last question here, and I'll go back to all the meetings. Top 3 issues. I'm going to ask everybody the same question. What are the top 3 issues in fire protection from your point of view, or the FSSA's point of view? What are the top 3 issues that need some resolution in the next few years?
Well, I definitely say labor. We have an aging workforce across the board. All of the companies are facing that. There's a high demand. We are somewhat, we rob Peter to pay Paul by going to other companies and taking our people, and that's not sustainable. That's not great. It's not sustainable. So labor's a big issue. As a solution to that, I personally am really, you and I are both on NFPA 915, and because that standard is dealing with remote inspections, and if we have our way, it's also remote testing.
Right. Exactly.
Well, to me, it's being able to do remote inspections and testing of systems overall will start to take the pressure off the labor problem.
Agreed. And
so I think that there's so much opportunity for innovation and technology growth in our product space that help us do that. And then, people don't like to, we got a problem. I don't know if this is a top problem, but you asked for 3 and I'll give you 3. So I think another problem, we've got a lot of people with aging systems out there, aging technology, and they're really unreluctant to make another investment in upgrading it to the newer stuff. I can just tell you, all of the panel manufacturers from anything in fire are going after some sort of planned obsolescence scheme.
Really?
And we've got to get system owners on board. Like they've got it it's hard to service their old stuff.
Right.
Integrators, service companies do their best, but one thing we've got with old systems, we may not have a computer running the right operating system anymore that still runs the software to talk to that panel. That's a problem. That's kind of built-in plans obsolescence. It may not be as bad as your washer and dryer, and it's planned to break fast, but it's there, and just getting people, system owners, ready to reinvest.
Just aware of it, right? And that's a great point it's definitely on fire alarm systems. Because some of
it affects all of our suppression systems because they're largely driven by a releasing panel, which is a fire alarm panel.
And those manufacturers might not even be around anymore to get parts or get into the panel.
They're getting more aggressive in not providing parts. Once they've moved on to their next generation of panels, they want to stop providing those old parts because they want to force that upgrade. Wow.
Yeah, that's interesting to, because it's supposed to last the life of the building, but probably not with that.
Oh no,
that scenario.
I would no offense. I would disagree with that. I think systems, a lot of higher quality buildings are meant to last 50 years plus.
Right.
That, fire, the detection and control side of fire alarm systems are really, 20 years max, maybe 15.
Yeah, with the components and everything. No, it wasn't my point. It was more, that's what they say. That's what, when a building owner goes into it, that's what they think. But,
I don't think that's true.
And probably even with sprinkler, that the piping starting to get upgraded and,
Oh, yeah. Metal pipes fail eventually. They may need to re-pipe your building at some point. So,
well, thanks, Lee, for coming on. This is a short little clip. We're going to have some more guests here in a little bit, but thanks for FSSA. This has been awesome. And we'll see you on some NFPA committees here. So
Yeah, we're really glad you came.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lee. Take care. All right, we're back. FSSA, we're in, this is the second day? Are we in the second
Day two.
Day two. Here with Jarrett Ryan from Protegis. You are the incoming president. When does that happen?
Actually, tomorrow night.
Oh, really?
Tomorrow night. Yeah, I get to give
You
the
get
big
the
speech.
big coat?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get the
you
big
get the-
speech, get the gavel, get to do the whole 9 yards, all the pomp and circumstance
The
around it. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's cool. I guess explain. I guess you roll at Protegis and.
Yeah, so at Protegis, I'm the vice president of sales and national accounts. So I oversee all of our sales activities in 2 of our 3 business lines,
Nice.
as well as run the operations and P&L responsibility for our national accounts group.
Sure.
So it gets me around to our different branches
Yeah.
and to our national accounts headquarter in Louisville. So
Okay.
I'm always on the go, and which is something I love to do, and to get around and visit with customers in different areas and visit with different team members that are out selling and doing their job.
Yeah. I'm still acting VP of sales at Inspect Point, but kind of moving out of that role a little bit. Do you have a sales methodology, or you have any methodology that you kind of go by?
Because we do so many different things, we have so many different channels. One of the things we did a couple years ago is made the decision, because of that, is to create a playbook.
Yeah.
So we developed it's almost an 80-page playbook of all the different aspects of what we sell,
Sure.
how to message them, how to present them, how to overcome objections,
Oh, wow.
intel on the
Yeah,
competition, all those type of things.
Oh, no way.
And when we did that and then put it in place, it was amazing how fast the team adopted, how well we saw sales pick up. We
Interesting.
saw immediate improvement for new sales reps coming in, being able to grow and
Right.
be productive much quicker.
Yeah.
So taking all those kind of thoughts and strategies and putting it together, documenting it and teaching. And then one thing too, we don't want the playbook to become a coffee table.
Sure.
So it's always something we're adapting as the
Yep.
managers, sales managers get in there and making sure we stay up to date
Yep.
with what's going on, what our strategies are, and the team
Nice.
is communicated to that. So yeah, I think that's our I would say our philosophy is professionalizing the sales approach in this industry, which it's not always been the most professionally sold industry over the years, but really, again, to educate our sales reps, so we're providing the best service to our customer.
Yeah,
That's what it's
exactly.
all about.
Yeah.
All about making sure we have 3 tenets at Protegis where we do it right. Where we're there 24/7 for our customers, and we make it easy.
Oh, nice.
And that's what we're trying to drive
Sure.
through our team to make sure we're communicating that to the customer.
Yeah. I know. I checked out your guys' website the other day. I'm like, man, just the website alone, like, if I'm a building owner or whatever, it's a lot easier to get around and access and all that.
Yeah.
The portals in there. So FSSA, what's been your history with FSSA?
Sure.
How long you guys been members?
Yeah. This is my 12th.
Oh wow.
12th event I've gone to, so I've not missed one since 2011
Okay.
was the first one. So no, it's been great in the organization. When I joined the Protegis and the predecessor, which was Abco Fire Protection, I went to the owner and I said, I want to get involved in some industry networking groups. And he was not a guy that did, he just didn't do it himself. So he's like, absolutely, go do it.
Oh, wow.
So I went to the first FSSA. I enjoyed it. Just seeing what was going on and how active and promoting the industry. And, the association was kind of going through a little bit of transition of kind of the first generation to the second generation.
Right.
So after a couple of years, we were struggling a little bit to get volunteers, and this is a 100% volunteer driven organization. So, I put myself out there and said, hey, I'll be glad to, participate, committees, board. So I started participating in a marketing committee, and then within, I think it was my fourth or fifth one, I was voted onto the board of directors.
Wow.
So I've been on the board ever since.
Yeah.
A little longer than typical, but there's
Yeah.
some stuff going on. But I've also chaired the marketing committee for
nice.
a period of time. So this association is so reliant on the volunteers. but we have so many great people. And really now that this next generation really starting to kick in, we have a lot of talent. And it's not only the folks that are coming to these shows, but we're now appealing to members that are here to bring in their best and brightest from within their organization to participate. And the hope is we can draw more of them here and draw more of them to the live events, but we understand there's economic conditions, things that prevent that from happening. But how do we continue to engage them, throughout the years? So that's really as we look forward. And fortunate for me being able to come in as the incoming president, that's one thing I want to continue is the outreach and the appeal to continue to draw more members into the association, even from the AHJ and the specifying community, getting them more involved. And then obviously the next layers within our member base already, getting them participating in our committees, within our different programs that we have to continue to get their input and engagement.
Well, there's a lot of, we have a lot of users on our platform. So we see a lot of different contractors and service providers out there. So they're always asking me, I was telling Lee this, how do I get into marine systems? Cause they're being asked. And I'm like, well, you got to really, it can't just be a one-off job. You got to kind of like start, like, where do we get training? I'm like, go to the FSSA, become a member. I think it's great. And I wasn't even on the membership committee or involved. I'm like, go to there because they're going to be able to handle a lot of that. And I think you guys provide a lot of, it's in such a niche part of fire protection that, there's not many other places to go. So.
No, there isn't, and when you check out the website, obviously the training program, which there was a lot talk about the talent, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went in multiple years. And again, these are volunteers. They're not getting paid to do this type of work that develop the curriculum, put it into action. The guides, the guides have been around for 15 plus years now. And again, volunteers putting their time and energy into writing them, but there's some of the most professional publications you find. They're adopted and referenced in most of the NFPA standards. So it's very well respected. It's very well respected in the fire protection community. And that's, we have a new committee called the Global Outreach Committee, and that's really driving to connect with different associations internationally, but also to continue to drive better collaboration within all the different, splintered associations within our industry, because we are niche at all levels. But if we can work together as one, it's going to promote the common good of the entire industry, which we all benefit from.
Oh yeah. Everybody benefits from that. I actually met a contractor, I think last time from Aruba, or I forgot who it was, but it was a great conversation, and I thought it was more kind of US, but there's more.
Yeah, we have some international members. Obviously, Canada is represented, and we do have some that generally don't attend just because of the travel. But they're participating with the training programs and things like that. So which is a great benefit to why to become a member, to have access to those things.
I know everybody's coming out right now, but any top initiatives for your presidency?
Just as I said, it's to continue to engage and grow the membership and engage the next kind of the other layers of our industry that aren't necessarily directly installing or manufacturing things, but influence and can benefit from learning and understanding. The AHJ community is one that I would say a vast majority of the AHJ community doesn't understand special hazards. And the more we can try to engage them and pull them into the understanding of we're a resource for them. And this is a place to come. And there's a lot of great details that will help educate them and help them in what they do. Is something important. So you'll see from the association this year continued more outreach. We participate with the SFPE and doing some presentations on special hazards. I'm personally doing one in March with the Ohio Fire Code Academy, promoting special hazards and the FSSA. So those are the type of things we're going to continue to do. And what I hope to continue and grow and really, it's hard for just the association to do it. So we really need to rally the membership to continue to help drive that message home when they get an opportunity to bring, to contact us at the association and let us help support them with information and details that will help better promote not only their business, but the association and what we do as a whole.
That just spurred up a bunch of ideas in my head that I'll take with you offline.
Absolutely.
thanks for coming on, Jarrett.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Glad to do it.
Appreciate it.
Please do, Drew. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, we're back. Final interview for the day. Great show so far here at the FSSA here in Bonita Springs, Florida. Here with Todd Stevens with Industrial Fire Protection. He's the ops manager as well. He's the immediate past president,
That's
right?
correct. Yeah.
As of today. Tomorrow won't be.
I'll be
immediate.
nothing.
Yeah,
I'll just be a past president.
but Todd's done a great job over, really through the pandemic times with FSSA. A lot of associations had trouble. So Todd was lucky enough to endure that and, love where the association's at now. So
Thanks.
What do you,
Appreciate it.
what's you said you're doing something with global.
Yeah. So, want to stay as involved as I possibly can with FSSA. Yeah. So, stepping away and no longer president, I wanted to make sure that I still had a role, which I can engage myself on a normal basis. And like any good president, what I did is I started a brand new committee. And just as I rolled off as president, I appointed myself as chair of that new committee.
All right.
So that new committee is the Global Outreach Committee.
Okay.
And really the goal with that committee is to help FSSA expand beyond the borders.
Yep.
It's a nationwide industry. It's a nationwide association, I should say, but we really have the ability to expand those opportunities in Europe and Australia and India, all over the place. And
right.
So what we've done is we've created this new committee. There's about 6 of us that are active on the committee currently. And we started to lay out what the different associations are that we could find. We did some research, basic research.
Yeah.
What other similar associations to FSSA is there throughout the world? Okay. There's a lot.
Yeah.
And then it was narrowing down to which ones can we partner with that makes sense to, share ideas and work with and help globally expand the FSSA name.
Sure.
So right now we're analyzing about 7 different associations. Again, a bunch in Europe, a couple in India, a couple down in Australia, actually, which is a really big association, as well as Canada. Yeah. And SFPE, I'll throw them in the mix as well, because obviously SFPE is a global network, and it's a matter of teaming up with them to see what we can do to help us expand globally as well. So part of that process for the committee has been just reviewing these different associations. Then we're taking that step of reaching out to those associations and having that initial discussion. Yep. And some of the collaborative ideas span from sharing webinars. We can do a webinar in there, on them, and they can do a webinar on FSSA, right, and kind of do those things. The next step would be to help. FSSA has a great set of design guides. Yes, they do. Yeah. And they're phenomenal within our industry. And it's almost like a best kept secret, in my opinion, for the suppression industry. We want to be able to globally expand on those as well. Yeah. So advertising, marketing our guides to other associations worldwide. And if they have guides or papers and that sort of thing, that we can market for them as well. Right. So those are just a couple key things out of the gate that we've had some success talking with these different associations on that I'm pretty excited about. So
no, it's good. It's good you're still active. What were being a president of an association during the pandemic? What was that like?
It was interesting. Yeah, because I literally became president in February of 2020. Oh, that's when shut down. And 2 weeks later, and I think a lot of us were saying here at this event, that was like the last trip that we made. Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, the world shut down. So it was. I'm not gonna lie. Initially, it was immediate panic. Like, crap, what am I gonna do? How are we gonna get through this process without the normal flow of the association? But I really think that we took it and we were forced to reach out to more of our members to make sure that we stayed engaged because of the pandemic. So it forced us to do things like town hall meetings virtually and doing more webinars and that sort of thing to make sure that our membership didn't think that we forgot about them, right? So we actually, I think all the committees worked even that much harder, to be honest with you, during that year to make sure that we were doing the job that we needed to and continue to expand our market, to our membership.
And you planned the Purple Live event as well, right?
We did. And that, it's funny because I think when we first started thinking about it,
I don't think anybody else has done anything like that since.
And we didn't, I don't know that we even knew it was going to work.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it was a virtual world. You did it. Right?
I did it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So you created a little avatar and you went into this world. You walked around and walked into the hall where we had presenters and so forth. And and they had some fun things like, basketball courts and boats you could jump in and take off into the water. So it was, but we had quite a bit of, membership that wouldn't normally come to the annual forum,
right?
Because they can't travel or the company doesn't, allow them to do events like this. They were able to get involved, and that was the other exciting thing because they were able to do it right from the comfort of their office.
Yeah. That was. I think I got to speak at that one too, which was interesting because you're speaking to this big group of people, kind of like webinar style, but you're still like hanging out afterward like a regular meeting. So it was like, my sales guy at the time hated it because he didn't get to, didn't get to travel, I guess. I don't know. But I loved it because it was like, I was doing it from like South Carolina, right? But I could still meet and see. It's not, being in person is the best, but
of course,
it was good for
beats.
it was good for what we had.
Yeah, nothing beats face to face, obviously. And one of the things that we've always prided ourselves at FSSA is in networking at these events. And that was the one fear we had with that Purple World is how do we do this and still allow that networking to occur? And I think we did as best as we could. I mean, it's still not the same as in person, but we had a lot of great comments back because there were networking opportunities virtually. That you can go up and just start talking to somebody and have a conversation, which was really, really cool. So, all in all, if we don't have to do it again, we'll be thrilled, right? Because we want to be here in person. But I think under the circumstances, it worked out well. Cool. So it was fun.
Well, thanks for having letting the podcast do this. I know you were an integral part with that, and Becca and her team.
Sure.
But
thanks for being here.
Yeah,
it's great,
thanks, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
I hope you enjoyed the live from the FSSA 40th Annual Forum in Bonita Springs, Florida. We did some of this last year at the NAFED events as well as AFSA in San Antonio. Going to continue this for people that can't make the conferences and try to get leaders and professionals within the industry on the podcast to talk about themselves, the industry, and where we see the future going. So again, appreciate everybody at FSSA for letting us do this, and check us out again soon. Thanks.